Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
What is going on? How y'all doing on this late Saturday afternoon, early evening? This is the Club with the Man 1993, and this is my review of this week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Last night's edition, the May 17th, 2024 edition, and it took place in Jacksonville, Florida. So, of course, it's one of Cody Rhodes' favorite place because it was his home during the pandemic for 3 or 4 years. Wait, 3 years. About 3 years. It was Cody's home when he was, of course, still with AEW, and all of AEW's pandemic shows took place in Daly's place in Jacksonville, Florida. So they're back in Jacksonville. Cody Rhodes was there, and despite the fact that, of course, I'll say this, the Cody Rhodes segment, believe it or not, was my least favorite part of this show, I still thought it was another good show. We continued on the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments with the quarterfinals matches. We had Bianca Belair and Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax, and Jade Cargill. And for the King of the Ring tournament, we had L.A. Knight, taking on Tama Tonga of the Bloodline. And we also main evented with Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes. Him. And a few other things happened as well in the show. Another good show. I enjoyed it. I am excited for King of the Ring. Again, as I said in my Raw review this week, though, I just still wish they would have at least saved the semi-final matches for the actual pay-per-view. As I keep saying, if you're naming a pay-per-view King and Queen of the Ring, we have already done the pay-per-views, a couple of them in the past, where they do the finals of the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. To me, if they're just going to do that again at the pay-per-view, it's not really much different, if I'm being honest. So I still feel like they should have done at least the semifinals and the finals at the King and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view. Done both of them. This is kind of have a little more, just something different, like matches at the beginning of the show will impact these matches later. Just for something different. We're not, so not going to complain. Next week's episode of SmackDown also will be in Saudi Arabia. So, of course, normally, and again, I made an exception for Backlash, and of course it was nuts. But I am going to be, sorry, I got distracted by a text from my sister about Jerry Seinfeld. So I'm not going to be doing Raw and SmackDown reviews next week. I will just do my King and Queen of the Ring preview. Of course, though, it's probably going to have to wait until after SmackDown next Friday. But then again, I got to make sure I get that in because it's in Saudi Arabia, the pay-per-view next weekend. So that's going to be happening earlier today, Saturday, so I have no time. So I have to do that after SmackDown next Friday. That will be live, of course, as well. And there's more to come as well, too, as I always say. But, so yeah, I completely lost train of thought because I looked over at my phone, so I'm sorry about that. Anyways, though, let's roll in and talk about SmackDown, and we will go from there as well. As I have more content, of course, I'm trying to get recorded and produced this weekend as well. Turn my phone over, keep getting distracted. Anyways, let's talk about SmackDown. So the show opened up with the first of the quarterfinals for the Queen of the Ring tournament. It was Bianca Belair versus Tiffany Stratton. Now, first, before I talk about the match, apparently there was a recent tweet made by Tiffany Stratton that a lot of people were offended by and that took as her making a suggestive racial remark. Apparently, I have read that WWE has not put any heat on Tiffany Stratton, and it's not why she lost this match. I figured Tiffany wasn't winning this match, because I did feel, going into the show, I did think they were going to do Jade versus Bianca in the finals. Both of them, of course, are currently the women's tag team champions, but it looks like they're not going to be doing that yet. Spoiler alert for later on in the show. Bianca did win this match, but again, Tiffany apparently has no heat on her. And, I'm pretty sure Tiffany didn't mean what she meant, but, I understand also why it could have been mistaken as well. So I'm not going to, say either sides were wrong to feel the way, but just to get clear, Tiffany Stratton did not get any heat for that tweet. But anyways, this match was great. Like the main event, it felt like a match it was a great match, and they probably would want it to be better. But a match like this is pay-per-view quality. This is a pay-per-view match. Bianca Belair and Tiffany Stratton. This is a title match on pay-per-view. Whether it's a singles or title match, whichever one it is, it's meant for a pay-per-view. So they could put on a great match here, but obviously they want you to feel you want to see this. You'd rather see this on pay-per-view. So they're not going to go all out with it like they would if it was on pay-per-view. But it was still great. Again, both women are incredible athletes, making them mesh very well together with very great chemistry. But of course, Bianca Belair does win with a KOD. She gets the victory. And I guess that means that Tiffany will probably win Miss Money in the Bank. Because Tiffany time again is over. She has definitely really settled in on the main roster very well, as I've been saying, since she came up right after the Rumble. So I definitely think something is within the next year is going to happen for her. I still think she's going to win Miss Money in the Bank. To me, she's the best choice. Because again, I originally thought maybe Candice, but Candice, although her character has developed, still seems like she's on the low cards. Needs a little more work before I think she gets there. But at this point, Tiffany Stratton should be winning Miss Money in the Bank this year. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. She's not winning Queen of the Ring. She's got to win. Money in the Bank. But a great match to open up the show for sure. Like I said, they will have another match someday, and it will be on pay-per-view, and it will definitely be even better than this. But so we have that. Afterwards, though, because I guess Bianca's been selling a knee injury. And she was interviewed and says her knee ain't 100%, but she's not going to make excuses. Next week, injured or not, nothing will stop her from becoming Queen of the Ring. We have a backstage where we're being advertised for a contract signing later with Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul. And we had Logan Paul heading to Nick Aldis' office. But when he opens the door, LA Knight steps out. And they kind of have a stare down before Aldis comes out and diffuses the situation before Logan goes in. And I'm just like, that's the match. That's the match. SummerSlam. We got to do it. Which we probably still have a chance of that now based off what happened in the contract side. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Jade Cargill is being interviewed backstage. She says Nia is a beast and an immovable object, but to Jade, she's just in her way. We also get a recap of when Saul explained to Paul Heyman last week that he was instructed by Roman Reigns to take orders, even though Heyman's not 100% sure that is accurate or not, but that's what Solo said, so he's going with Solo. And Solo says, "No worry, I love you, wise man," and hugs him out. Tama Tonga was backstage, walking back and forth, getting ready for his match with LA Knight. Yeah! For the quarterfinals for the King of the Ring. And Solo tells him to go, And Tonga Loa gets up and leaves with him. Paul Heyman asks if he's talked to him today, and Solo says all the time. LA Knight then in his interview says that Tama Tonga can get himself introduced as the BFT on his way to winning King of the Ring, because instead of the MFT, which we still don't know what that stands for, it'll be the BFT, because of the blunt force trauma. Carmelo Hayes, though, rolls up before he goes out and he introduces himself. And he basically starts bragging about how he was a first-round draft pick, and then LNA cuts him down, and then they are bickering. Kind of set up, I guess, for a feud for Clash of the Castle, maybe? That'd be fresh, different. LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes. I can get behind that. That'd be pretty good. Knight then has his match with Tama Tonga. Match was fine. A little short, though. And it kind of ended a little abrupt as well. It just felt like a match that had a little more to it. But as expected, we love LA Knight. But if the bloodline's in this, you gotta keep it strong. Tama Tonga wins it, so he's gonna face the winner of either Randy Orton or Carmelo Hayes next week on SmackDown. Which again, I still feel like the finals are gonna be Jey Uso versus Tama Tonga. Can I be honest? As much as I'm okay with them doing that, if they do that to further on the bloodline story and to kind of give Jey Uso a moment. And also start, again, I still predict the finals are going to be Jey Uso and Tama Tonga. Jey is only going to win because Jimmy returns and helps him. And it's going to start planting the seeds for the Usos reuniting. And eventually, of course, they will, make amends with Roman Reigns as well. And then we will be history going from there. But Tama Tonga does win with the STO. But if I'm being honest, I feel like to make it just a wee bit more unpredictable, they should have had Solo be in this instead. Although if Solo was in it, I probably would think he should be getting King of the Ring more, especially if they're trying to make him like the new ultimate villain, like the new number one heel. I get why they did Tama Tonga, but it's just a weird situation where, why would Tama Tonga win if Solo's supposed to be the stronger piece? Because there's been rumors circulating that WWE is a little worried whenever Jacob Fatu comes in. There's some concerns that he may become more powerful than Solo. Because the plan is to make Solo the next big villain. I just feel like having, your second-hand man win King of the Ring is not as, predictable. Unless it was, later on in the storyline, yes. But then again, also, if Solo was in it, you would probably want him to win. But I still feel like Jey needs something with how hot he is right now. There's not a title for him to win right now, though. There's him winning King of the Ring could be worthy as well. And like I said, it could further on the bloodline storyline. I don't know, though. We'll have to wait and see, though. But Tama Tonga does win this match, and he'll take on the winner of either Randy Orton or Carmelo Hayes. We then have LA Knight walking backstage with Charles Robinson, and he again runs into Carmelo Hayes, and they trash talk each other more, and this time they had to actually break it up. So again, I think they are teasing a feud between these two, maybe for Clash at the Castle. I think originally, even though he's talked trash to a bunch of different main eventers since he's been officially drafted to SmackDown, I think originally the plan was Carmelo Hayes versus Bobby Lashley as a feud. But Lashley's hurt, he got injured working out. When he's going to be back, I don't know. But still, a feud with him and LA Knight, I'm game. Alright, now we get to this contract signing, which again was probably my least favorite part of this show. So Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul are seated for the contract signing. On a pedestal rested both titles. Cody comes out, does the usual intro, and he asks Logan, do you know what happened 32 years today? Of course you don't. 32 years ago today was the first ever War Games match at Sting's Squadron against Dangerous Alliance. Widely considered the best War Games match of all time. Okay, I can't remember if it was the first or I don't think it was the first. I can't remember. But anyways, one of the best War Games matches happened 32 years ago yesterday. And the reason he knows this is because he's a fan of professional wrestling. Logan's not a fan. And the only way Cody can describe him is he's a tourist. For passing through, making memories, and thinks it's time to get off the train and drop that title and make Cody, for the first time in his career, a Grand Slam champion. Logan says the same thing as the last guy and the guy before him. We've all heard it. Kind of like, the whole John Cena thing. You've said about this guy and this guy and this guy. We've all heard it. And I'm like, great. He doesn't understand what he's doing. Is he stalling? He didn't come here to listen to Cody talk. He came to sign a contract. There's just one thing, though. He takes the current contract, which apparently was a match intended to be a title-for-title match. The undisputed WWE title versus the United States Championship. Logan rips up that contract. He says, this isn't what we agreed on. He claims him and Nick Aldis only agreed to have Cody's undisputed title on the line, not the U.S. title. So he had his lawyer that he brought along draw up another contract and hands it to Nick Aldis and says, get this done and we're doing this match. Now, okay, leading up to that part. So before we go on, here's where I stood again going into this match this week. Again, as I said last week, Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul sounds like an outstanding match. The thing that was hindering it, though, again, is the fact that right now Logan Paul is the United States champion. And also, he's made, 2 title defenses since winning that title? Because he is a part-time champion. Yeah, he only wrestled at, he's wrestled technically 4 times. But 2 of them were actual title matches. Because he also wrestled for his qualifying match for the Chamber, and he also wrestled inside Elimination Chamber. But he's only defended that title twice. So it's still weird, because again, I'm feeling the same way I felt when Roman Reigns feuded with Kevin Owens in 2016 for the Universal title when he was United States Champion, and also he barely defended the title as well. So that all kind of bugged me a little bit. So when Logan does this thing where he claims he doesn't agree on it, I'm like, okay, that's kind of true. I guess that kind of fixes that. Because, I'm sorry, again, I don't want to see Cody, again, somebody else needs to take the U.S. title off of Logan Paul. Cody has his moment. Cody's the champion. I just don't feel the need to make him a double champ right now. So I wasn't feeling that. I was feeling more, I'm like, okay, if they're just going to do this just for Cody's title only, fine. Because again, LA Knight I still feel should be the one to dethrone Logan Paul for that US title. And I think it would have happened at WrestleMania 40 had they not started that Prime sponsorship. If they did start that Prime sponsorship, I think we then would have had LA Knight defeating Logan Paul. But I think that match should happen at SummerSlam. They teased it. But then they screw this all up again. So, again, Logan gives Aldis the contract. Aldis then says, this is not what we agreed on. This is unprofessional. And he's not going to stand for it. Well, the lawyer grabs the mic and says, are you threatening my client? Cody then tells Aldis, hold up. He knows what happens when he gets angry. He's doing a great job. They put us all on the spot here and tells him to let them have the ring and he'll bring the paperwork by the office when he's done. So Aldis is like, okay, that's fine, I'll leave. Well, Logan then says that his contract is a done deal. The match is made. And Cody hasn't done anything to deserve a U.S. title shot. This is where you think, okay, this one, even though, again, I'm not a fan of the idea of Cody Rhodes being a double champ, this would make sense for Cody to actually get, fire back and say, no, you're putting that title on the line, whether you like it or not. Cody then calls Logan a glorified hat rack that can do a flip, whoop-de-doo, but Mike Tyson's gonna knock his brother out, and then at King of the Ring, he's gonna knock Logan out. So sure, I will sign the contract. And I'm like, what? Like, that... Are they exposing more? Again, nothing against Cody. Are they exposing more that maybe that heel turn from Cody is going to happen sooner rather than later? Because it's really starting to feel like, yes, as a babyface, Cody's on fire, like finishing the story. As a champion, though, he's starting to feel more and more like he is like the guy to beat. As you should be, of course, as champion. But he's not working around it. Like, he's... Like, what babyface just gives in and let the heels walk all over him? Like, if they would have done a thing where, like, Aldis would have admitted, yes, this is what we actually did intentionally agree on. Unfortunately, I have to honor this. Okay, that would have made more sense. But the fact that you have the villain try to, twist it to have the general manager, the authority, say, no, that's not the case, this is unprofessional, rather than giving the heel his comeuppance, the babyface just gives in? Like, Cody, don't you actually want to be a Grand Slam champion? Again, I don't like the idea of him having the 2 belts right now, but I get, but at least it makes sense to me. This just makes no sense. Why would Cody give in to Logan's contract, give in to Logan to not put the U.S. title on the line? Like, again, this is the same guy that originally gave up his spot for The Rock, but then when he heard the fans thought it was BS, said, nah, I take this all back. I have the power to do this because I won the Royal Rumble. Okay, awesome. But right here, it was like, why did he give in? Like, it made no sense to me. And then, of course, when Cody goes to do it, to sign a contract, Logan tries a cheap shot, and we got all this and that. He grabbed the U.S. title, and then holds his world title up, and then throws Logan his belt back. So now, what's this supposed to prove? That Cody's a better champion than Logan, and Logan's going to prove he's a better champion who deserves to be on top? Like, nah. I would rather have had it this way, because I wanted someone else to take that title off of Logan Paul. And again, it should be LA Knight. I didn't want it to be a thing where Cody wins the title, but then does like what Keith Lee did and says, I want to have this. I want people to have this opportunity have this for opportunities. So I want to relinquish my North American title. Like, no, I actually want someone to get their comeuppance on Logan Paul. And again, LA Knight is the right person to do it. Not Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes got his comeuppance on Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. So he doesn't need to be the guy to also take the U.S. title off Logan Paul. But again, it just made no sense. Like that last part where Cody just gave in for no reason just kind of shut me off more. Like, again, the match still going to be great, yes, but again, this storytelling is just weird on this one. But we got that. Nia Jax had a promo where she says Jade's very impressive, but she's not going to be Queen of the Ring. And then they have their match. The match was not too long, but it was a good storytelling match. And it's a match that also made me say, okay, I'll stop worrying about this. So going into this match, I thought Jade was going to win. Because I just didn't see how they could pull off having her. I don't know anymore how to pull off a good DQ finish to set something up more. Well, This one did. Because, the match was not that long. It was mostly two big women, like, running into each other, like, trying to outpower the other. Was a little slow, but during the match, Jade Cargill's daughter starts yelling over the ring, "Mommy, mommy, mommy!" Which, I didn't know Jade had a daughter. And I think she was like, "Don't worry, baby, everything's okay." And then Nia grabs Jade and pulls her away, tosses her over her, and then gets in her kid's face and goes, "Your mommy sucks." Which then led to, them, slamming each other, the posts and the tables, into the ring. And then Nia Jax, who cleared the ring, grabbed... She also tossed a desk chair, goes to grab a steel chair. And she swings it at Jade, but Jade blocks it and grabs it. And then her, out of anger, whacks Nia, and of course the referee sees it, and Jade gets disqualified. So Nia Jax technically won the match. And then afterwards, the brawl got even more vicious. They were like splitting them over the barricade, breaking free. I think someone got a small bust open, so there was a tad bit of blood, I heard. And I'm like, I'm cool with this. Because again, the thing that, and this, to me, the reason why I really like this, because it was a moment where I'm like, okay, I can stop worrying a little bit about Jade Cargill. Because again, I like Jade Cargill. I have nothing against her. But the booking so far, I'm not going to lie, made me kind of feel like the WWE was just handing everything to her. But they're not. She's not going to win Queen of the Ring. She is, it's going to be Nia and Bianca next week. Who wins? I don't know. Not sure if I really want either one of them winning, to be honest. Queen Nia, Queen Bianca. I still think Io's winning for the Raw side. I don't think they're going to give it to Lyra yet. Right now. But I feel like it could help either one of these three persons' careers. I guess because, she's been feuding with Damage Control longer, I guess they're going to do Io and Bianca. I don't know who's going to win that. But here's the thing I will say. The only reason I will accept Bianca winning this is if it leads to a Bianca heel turn. Because that has to happen soon. Oh gosh, again, Bianca's face run is way beyond run its course. Again, she's awesome. I'm glad it's worked out for her on the main roster. I'm glad she's been able to, get more titles. Because in NXT, she never got the title. But here on the main roster, she's had, 3 title reigns? Well, the SmackDown, the Raw, and then she won the women's title at SummerSlam last year where Io cashed in on her. And, she's gotten her comeuppance on Damage Control how many times? I don't know. Personally, Io's definitely probably the one who I think has improved there's Nia as well as improved a lot too, but personally out of the three, I'd rather be Io. But, because again, I don't see Lyra beating Io next week. But, I don't know. But at least it calmed my worries. Like, Nia Jax and Jade Cargill having a feud not for the title is what Jade needs right now. This works for both of them. And I think it's another reason why I don't want Nia to win Queen of the Ring. Because I don't want it to be like, oh, the heel wins, but yet they're going to do nothing but lose afterwards. It's like all Money in the Bank holders. It's like all King of the Ring winners as well. I'd rather have... Again, like they could... I guess if that's the case, you got to give it to Bianca then? I don't know. But we'll wait and see. But I did like how this set up a feud. And again, to me, it shows that, okay, we're taking a step back. We're not handing Jade everything right now. She still has room for improvement and to earn her way to the top. And not, again, I just don't want this to be like, oh, we're only pushing her despite AEW. I'm hoping that's not why. Because again, at first I was starting to worry that, okay, they're kind of giving her everything. And she still has work to do, I feel like. But they're stepping back. I'm going to shut up for now. Also, after this, we then had a match with DIY and Legado del Fantasma. 8 Talent Down Unders on commentaries. DIY's first match on SmackDown, which was good. Elektra Lopez and Santos Escobar got ejected because Elektra got caught pulling on Johnny's leg for interference, and the referee then ejected them. My thing, though, is why is it sometimes when outside interference happens, the referee either ejects or they disqualify? Like, I'm not sure where the consistency is there. But somehow, even though off the distraction, DIY still won with the meat in the middle. And they're obviously set up eventually for Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa to fight for the WWE tag titles. And especially also because, Johnny has a history with Austin Theory from The Way. And of course, there is still some moments where they're teasing. They're starting, especially when Tommaso walked out Johnny on Raw. They're kind of doing a more of a longer term, a slight bit more obvious story for the eventual split of DIY. It's not going to happen for a long time, dear Lord. Give them a run with a run or two with the tag titles first. But yeah, they got that. We also got. They did the QR code again, but they also flashed footage from Twitch. Because I thought at first it was Chelsea Green talking. It was some other woman who was like talking. It was like a therapy appointment. And the announcers are starting to acknowledge the QR codes. Which before, when they were building to Bray Wyatt's return, they didn't quite acknowledge. The announcers didn't advise the QR codes. We just let them play, and that was it. So obviously they know that, okay, we all know this is probably Uncle Howdy. When he debuts, I don't know. I've heard rumors maybe at King of the Ring. It could, we'll see. Or, I don't know. But I think I'm more interested to see who all is going to be in the Wyatt 6. I've heard some rumors. I've also heard that apparently Eric Rowan is coming back. So he will be in the Wyatt 6. I'm pretty sure Alexa Bliss will be in there. I've also heard rumors about Joe Gacy as well from NXT. I feel like one other person. Oh, Nikki Cross. I think I heard Nikki Cross could be in the stable as well, which is why she wasn't drafted. And I think she just graduated from school and getting her PhD as well. But yeah, we will just have to wait and see who it is when they reveal. We also have AJ Styles being interviewed backstage, saying he doesn't know where he goes from here. He lost to Cody. He then lost to Randy. And he claims that he has a meet with Nick Aldis next week, and we'll see where things go from here. So I don't know if that's setting up for him to reunite with the club or the OC, or if that's set up for like a retirement angle, because there's rumors saying that AJ is preparing to wind down. I mean, he's 46 years old. He's still in great shape and can still go, but we'll see where AJ's character goes. He's been kind of put on the back burner for a while now. I would like to see him maybe get at least one more big title win in his career, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But we'll see. Then Byron Saxton also, after commercial, interviews Bayley. She talks about how Queen of the Ring is packed, and she also mentioned how she originally predicted Jade Cargill to win, but that's not going to happen now. And then they show Piper Niven chilling right next to Byron, and she's pretending to sleep. And then Chelsea Green pops up, and they giggle, and they basically make fun of Bayley, saying that they were falling asleep because of Bayley talking. And they gave her crap. And then Bayley challenges Piper Niven to a match next week. I mean, a feud with Bayley and Chelsea Green for the title wouldn't be too bad an idea. So maybe that's their next feud for a title. At some point, they're probably going to do Bayley and Nia, which I think when they do that, Nia is probably going to be the one to dethrone Bayley. Unless Bianca turns heel. If Bianca turns heel, she's dethroning Bayley. And then eventually we'll probably do Jade versus Bianca at like a bigger show. As I thought we were going to be doing that for the finals. For the SmackDown side of King of the Ring, we're not. And then the main event was Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes. Which, again, another good match. They are definitely featuring Carmelo in the right role he should be right now. He's getting his wins. He's also getting his opportunities and showing strong against these main event talent. It's just not quite the right time yet for him to be an official main eventer. But they're building him and telling you this guy's a future main eventer. And he's getting over strong in his losses. He took a very nice RKO out of nowhere off a springboard. Also was dropped onto the announce table several times as well. So yeah, him being this like cocky, guy who thinks he's got it all is working out very well. Afterwards, though, the Bloodline come out because we were officially getting Randy Orton versus Tama Tonga in the finals for SmackDown side of King of the Ring next week. And Orton basically gets on the microphone and tries to intimidate them and whatnot, and just to hype up for next week's main event. That's the show, guys. Again, I think it would have been ranked better had it not been for that contract signing. Because again, that contract signing, again, Logan and Cody are going to have a great match. But again, this U.S. title being involved really hindered it. So I'm going to give the show a B. If it wasn't for that contract sign, probably a B+, but I'm still thinking B. B for SmackDown. We'll see what happens next week. But again, we're not reviewing Raw and SmackDown next week. Again, I only did Raw and SmackDown for Backlash that week because of the draft. But next week we're going to go back to we're going to just do the preview, which probably will have to wait until Friday because we got to see who wins between Tama Tonga and Randy Orton. And, of course, between Nia Jax and Bianca Belair for the finals as well. And see who's facing each other in the finals for the King and Queen of the Ring matches at King and Queen of the Ring. And we'll go from there. So, guys, that's the show. What are your guys' thoughts on this week's episode of SmackDown? Gave the B. Again, what are your thoughts again on who's, of course, in the tournament? What are your guys' thoughts as well as the setup for the Nia Jax and Jade Cargill feud? And, of course, also, what are your guys' thoughts again on the Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul segment as well, too? Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below and anything else to talk about. Be sure you guys also, as always, slap a like on the video. Subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at the Club of the Man 93. You may also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. And until then, guys, I'll check it out. I'll catch you guys all later. And do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!